Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into the absolute spectacle that was the England win Mexico, the unforgettable England win in Mexico. It's a match they're already calling the Azteca Redemption. I am so pumped to walk you through this. We're looking at that monumental World Cup 2026 round of 16 clash between England and Mexico. And this wasn't just another game of football. It was cinematic, pure historical drama. So buckle up, because we're about to unpack a literal war of attrition. 7,000. That is the elevation, in feet above sea level, of the legendary Estadio Azteca in Mexico City. 7,000 feet. Up there, oxygen isn't just thin, it's a total luxury. The players might as well have been strapping on scuba tanks. Before the first whistle even blew, this thin air was the environmental weapon everyone thought would completely kill England's chances. When you're playing that high up, your lungs are burning, your legs literally feel like lead. Every single sprint takes a massive toll on the human body. Part 1. Ghosts of the Azteca. Historically, Mexico had never lost a World Cup match on this pitch. Never. So walking into this impenetrable fortress meant carrying an incredibly heavy, traumatic, psychological weight for the English squad. We're talking 40 years of unfinished business. 40 years since Diego Maradona broke English hearts back in 1986 with that infamous Hand of God goal. So yeah, this wasn't just a knockout match. This was set up as the ultimate 40-year revenge narrative. Part 2. 90 seconds of chaos. Okay, let's dive into how this deadlock broke, because for the first half hour, total agonizing tension. It was a scoreless battle of endurance, with that roaring crowd just daring the English lungs to give out first. But then a tactical masterclass breaks it open. Step 1. Goalkeeper Jordan Pickford launches this massive long outlet pass. Step 2. Declan Rice, somehow finding the oxygen, drives 60 yards straight through the midfield. Step 3. He finds Bukayo Saka out wide on the right, who whips in a gorgeous cross. And step 4. Jude Bellingham rises above everyone and heads it home. Goal. For the very first time in the entire tournament, Mexico concedes, and that deafening Azteca crowd goes completely silent. But, well, that silence didn't last very long, because the away fans absolutely erupted just 90 seconds later, literally a minute and a half. A quick turnover in the midfield, a lightning-fast counterattack, and bam, Bellingham finds the back of the net for a second goal. 2-0 in under 2 minutes. Suddenly, England is dreaming of the quarterfinals, and the mighty Azteca crowd is just entirely stunned. Part 3. The red card twist. But altitude has absolutely no mercy, right? You can't outrun it forever. Just before halftime, Julián Quiñones pulls a crucial goal back for Mexico, injecting massive life right back into the stadium. The game starts getting incredibly physical. Then right after the break, disaster strikes. Jarell Quansah goes in for a reckless challenge. VAR steps in, and it's a straight red card. Quansah is sent off. In the blink of an eye, the entire momentum of the match just flips upside down. And this brilliantly illustrates the sheer scale of the mountain England suddenly had to climb. On one side, you've got 10 men gasping in thin air with burning legs. On the other side, 11 Mexican players backed by an intimidating, relentless home stadium just pouring on the pressure. The physical and psychological disadvantage was immense, and England still had over half an hour to survive. Part 4. Surviving the final siege. To truly grasp the chaos, just look at how fast this all unraveled. 30 minutes of nothing, then boom, Bellingham scores at the 30-minute mark. Boom, Bellingham again at 31.5. But then Mexico strikes right before the half at 45. Quansah gets red-carded at 48. Against all odds, Harry Kane steps up and drills a massive penalty to make it 3-1. You're probably thinking, okay, surely that's the safety blanket. Nope. Incredibly, just minutes later at the 60-minute mark, Kane commits a foul in his own box, and Raul Jimenez buries the penalty for Mexico. So in exactly 30 minutes of game time, England went from cruising comfortably to desperately defending a fragile 3-0 lead down a man. For the final 30 minutes, the stadium was literally screaming for blood. England faced wave after wave of Mexican pressure. It was just heroic defending. Jordan Pickford was flinging himself completely across the goal to make impossible saves. Jude Bellingham was back there clearing the ball directly off the goal line. Their lungs were empty, their legs were gone, but they absolutely refused to break. And finally, the whistle blew. England survived, leaving the Mexican team weeping on the pitch. The 40-year curse was buried at last, in the exact same stadium where all that heartache began. If you follow the beautiful game, you know just how impossible this feat was. They survived the deafening Azteca and finally put those 1986 ghosts to rest. Part 5. Next stop, Miami. As those exhausted English players recovered in the locker room in Mexico City, the reality of their next challenge was already looming large. They conquered the Azteca, they conquered the thin air, they conquered their historical demons. But waiting for them in the sweltering heat of Miami? Norway. So the question is, can this battered, bruised squad find a way to survive the sheer physical force of Erling Haaland? It is going to be an absolutely incredible matchup. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you on the next one.